There are moments in life when time stops, not metaphorically, but terrifyingly, absolutely. For me, that moment was when the doctor looked me dead in the eye and whispered, "They have 7 days, maybe less. 3 children. Bald. Beautiful. And sentenced. And the worst part? They weren't mine. They belonged to Dante Rossi, New York's most feared mafia boss. And I was just the nanny. The gun wasn't pointed at me, not yet. But I could feel it, the weight of metal somewhere in that penthouse. The kind of danger that clings to expensive leather and Italian marble like perfume. I should have walked out the second I saw the address. Upper East Side, private elevator. Security that looked like they bench-pressed Bentleys for fun. But my bank account had $17 and a prayer, and my landlord had stopped accepting either. So there I was, 24 and desperate, sitting across from a man who looked like he'd been carved from shadows and expensive whiskey. "Miss Reeds," he said, not looking up from whatever file he was reading. Probably my pathetic resume. "You're late." I wasn't. I'd been 15 minutes early. But with men like him, you were always late, always wrong, always exactly where they wanted you. "Traffic," I lied smoothly, even though I'd taken the subway. He finally looked up, and I forgot how to breathe. Dark eyes. The kind that didn't just look at you, they assessed, calculated, decided your worth in milliseconds. Sharp jawline that could cut glass. A suit that probably cost more than my entire year's rent. "I'm Dante Rossi," he said, like the name should mean something. It didn't, not yet. "The job is simple," he continued, sliding a contract across his mahogany desk. "Live-in nanny. 7 days. Triple your asking rate." 7 days? Who hired a nanny for a week? "What happens after 7 days?" I asked. His jaw tightened. "Just slightly. Just enough. That won't be your concern." Red flag number 1. But rent was due in 3 days, and I'd already donated plasma twice this month. "The children," I pressed. "How old?" 5, triplets. "And their mother?" "Dead." The word dropped between us like a stone in still water. No emotion, no explanation, just dead. I should have run. Should have thanked him politely and walked straight back to my crumbling studio apartment. Instead, I picked up the pen. "When do I start?" His lips curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. "You already have." That's when I heard it. Soft. Haunting. The sound of small feet on marble, moving slow, like even walking hurt. 3 little girls appeared in the doorway, wearing identical yellow dresses that seemed too bright against their pale skin. Bald. All 3 of them. My pen froze mid-signature. "Meet Hope, Grace, and Faith," Dante said, his voice dropping to something almost gentle, almost human. The girls stared at me with eyes too old for their faces, eyes that had already seen the ending, and that's when I knew. This wasn't a nanny job. This was something else entirely. He moved like violence in slow motion. Every step calculated, every gesture controlled. Even the way he buttoned his suit jacket seemed like a threat. "They don't speak much," Dante said, crouching down to the triplets' level. His voice softened when he addressed them, but his shoulders stayed rigid. "This is Angela. She'll be staying with us." Hope, the one in the middle, tilted her head, studying me like I was a puzzle she'd already solved. "You won't last," she whispered. Not hostile, just factual, like she was reading tomorrow's weather. Dante's jaw clenched. "Hope," the last one cried. The girl continued, unbothered. "The one before that quit during breakfast. How many nannies had there been? And why did they all leave?" "I don't cry easily," I said, meeting her gaze. "And I make really good pancakes." Grace, the smallest one, almost smiled. Almost. Dante stood abruptly, and suddenly the room felt smaller. He was tall, well over 6 feet, with the kind of presence that didn't ask for space. It took it. "Rules," he said, pulling out his phone. "You follow them exactly, or you're gone." "I'm listening." "The girls sleep by 9, no exceptions. They take their medication at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. You don't miss a dose." "Understood." "The West Wing is off limits. The basement is off limits. My office," he gestured behind him, "is off limits." "Off limits. Off limits. Off limits." Translation: secrets. "Anything else?" I asked. He stepped closer. Close enough that I could smell his cologne, bergamot, and something darker, like smoke. "Don't ask questions," he said quietly. "Don't get attached, and don't try to save them." My blood ran cold. Save them from what? His eyes flicked to the girls, then back to me. Something flickered in his expression. Pain, maybe, or regret. From the inevitable. Before I could respond, he walked past me, footsteps echoing down the hallway. The triplets stood in perfect silence, watching me like I was already a ghost. "Come on," Faith finally said, taking my hand with fingers that felt too thin, too fragile. "We'll show you where people sleep before they leave." Their room was a museum of abandoned hope. Toys no one played with, books no one read, a princess castle in the corner, gathering dust like a forgotten kingdom. Everything was yellow. Walls, curtains, bedding, all the same cheerful, desperate shade. Like someone thought enough color could drown out the darkness. It couldn't. "You can have the room next door," Grace said softly, pointing to a door I hadn't noticed. "It connects through the bathroom. In case we need you." In case we need you. The weight of that phrase settled on my chest. "Do you need me often?" I asked gently. The three girls exchanged a look, some silent language only siblings shared. "Sometimes hope forgets to breathe," Faith said matter-of-factly. "And Grace throws up when she's scared." "What about you?" Faith shrugged. "I just stare at the ceiling and count backwards from 1,000. I never make it past 30. Jesus." I knelt down, eye level with them. Up close, I could see the details I'd missed. The hollowness in their cheeks, the way their collarbones jutted out too sharply, the dark circles that turned their eyes into bruises. "What are you sick with?" I asked, breaking Dante's first rule before I'd even unpacked. "Dying," Hope said simply. "That's not a diagnosis. It's ours." Grace tugged on my sleeve. "Do you know any stories?" "Lots," I said, grateful for the subject change. "What kind do you like?" "Ones where people live," Faith whispered. "God. These kids." "I know one about a girl who refused to give up," I said, sitting cross-legged on their plush carpet, even when everyone told her it was impossible. "Did she win?" Hope asked. I looked at each of them. 3 little girls in yellow dresses, fighting a war I didn't understand yet. "She's still fighting," I said. The story hasn't ended. For the first time since I'd arrived, all 3 of them smiled. Real smiles. The kind that reached their eyes and made them look like actual kids instead of tiny ghosts. "We like you," Grace decided. "Even though you won't last," Hope added. "We'll see about that," I said. That night, after I'd tucked them in and sang an off-key lullaby I half-remembered from childhood, I stood in the bathroom connecting our rooms. Through the mirror, I could see their beds. 3 lumps under yellow comforters, rising and falling with shallow breaths. On my side, I could see my reflection. Dark hair pulled back. Brown eyes that suddenly looked too naive for whatever I'd just walked into. A piece of paper had been slipped under my door. "They have 7 days, maybe less. 7 days. I looked back at the sleeping girls. Then I made a decision that would either save my life or end it. I wasn't going anywhere. Morning came with rules printed on expensive cardstock, slipped under my door like a death certificate. Rules for Angela Reeds. Medication at 7 a.m. sharp. Do not skip. Do not question. The girls eat only what Chef Marco prepares. No exceptions. West wing locked. Do not ask for the key. Basement locked. Do not ask why. Do not answer the door. Do not answer unknown calls. If Dante says leave the room, you leave. Do not call doctors. Do not call hospitals. Do not get attached. I read it 3 times, each pass making my stomach tighten. Do not call doctors? What kind of father wouldn't want medical help for dying children? Unless he already knew doctors couldn't help. Or wouldn't. I found Dante in the kitchen, drinking espresso like it was a contact sport. No good morning, no acknowledgement, just dark eyes tracking my every movement. "I read your rules," I said, pouring myself coffee I didn't want. "Good. Why can't I call a doctor?" "Because I said so." "That's not an answer." His cup hit the marble counter with a crack that made me flinch. "In this house, Miss Reeds, it's the only answer you get." We stared at each other, a silent war over breakfast. "The medication," I pushed. "What is it?" "Treatment." "For what?" "Do you want this job or not?" $17. 3 days until eviction. No family. No backup plan. "I want to understand what I'm dealing with." Something shifted in his expression. "Respect, maybe." "You're dealing with 3 little girls who have limited time," he said quietly. "Your job is to make that time less painful, not to play detective. And if I have questions, then you keep them to yourself." He grabbed his suit jacket from the chair. "I'll be gone most of the day. Marco will handle meals. Security will handle everything else. And if something happens?" He paused at the door, his back to me. "Then you text me, and you pray I'm close." The door shut behind him with a finality that felt like a coffin closing. I looked down at the rules in my hand. Then I folded them up and shoved them in my pocket. If he thought I'd follow them blindly, he didn't know me at all. "When's your birthday?" I asked Hope during breakfast. She dropped her spoon. It clattered against the china plate like a tiny scream. Grace and Faith froze mid-chew. Why? Hope whispered. Because I like knowing, I said gently. I like celebrating people. We don't celebrate, Faith said flatly. Why not? Silence. The kind that felt like a third presence at the table. Hope picked up her spoon again, studying it like it held answers. Our birthday is in 6 days. 6 days. The same timeline as Dante's note. No, that couldn't be coincidence. Then we should plan something special, I said, forcing brightness into my voice. What do you like? Cake? Balloons? Presents? We like being alive, Grace said simply. The air left my lungs. Hope looked up at me with those 2 old eyes. Will there be cake if I'm dead? The question hung in the kitchen like smoke. I reached across the table and took her small hand. You're not going to be dead. How do you know? Because I won't let you be. Hope pulled her hand back slowly. Everyone says things like that. Then they leave. I'm not everyone. The last nanny said that too, Faith added. She lasted 3 days. What happened to her? She saw something she wasn't supposed to, Hope said. In the West Wing. My pulse quickened. What's in the West Wing? All 3 girls looked at each other. That silent language again. The truth, Grace finally whispered. Before I could press further, Marco appeared with more food, perfectly arranged fruit, protein shakes that looked medicinal, pills in tiny paper cups. Medication time, he announced in his thick Italian accent. The girls didn't protest. They just swallowed the pills mechanically, like they'd done this 1,000 times. I watched carefully. White pills, blue pills, 1 large capsule each. What are those? I asked Marco. He didn't even look at me. Treatment. Same word Dante used. Same non-answer. After breakfast, I helped the girls into the living room. They moved slowly, like their bones hurt. Hope had to sit down twice just walking from the kitchen. This wasn't just illness. This was something else. Angela? Hope called from the couch. She was curled up with her sisters, 3 yellow dresses blending together. Yeah, sweetie? If we do have a birthday, she paused. Can it be rainbow cake? My throat tightened. Rainbow cake is my specialty. Even if we're not here? I knelt in front of them, looking at each beautiful, fragile face. You'll be here, I promised. I don't break promises. Hope smiled. Small. Sad. Disbelieving. Okay, she whispered. We'll try to stay alive until then. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing her voice. Will there be cake if I'm dead? And I kept thinking about the West Wing. About truth. About 6 days. Day 3, the girls were napping. And I was breaking rule number 6. Dante's office door was unlocked, arrogant mistake number 1. He probably thought fear alone would keep me out. It didn't. The room smelled like leather and secrets. Floor-to-ceiling bookshelves lined with titles in Italian. A desk that looked like it cost more than most cars. Amber liquor and crystal decanters catching afternoon light. And a locked drawer. I'd learned to pick locks at 19 when my ex-boyfriend changed the apartment locks with all my stuff inside. YouTube University, baby. Hairpin. 30 seconds. Click. Inside the drawer. Files. Medical files. My hands shook as I opened the first one. Hope Rossi patient file. But the name was crossed out in red ink. Next to it, handwritten. Not my blood. I flipped faster. Grace Rossi, same thing. Red ink, not my blood. Faith Rossi, not my blood. They weren't his daughters. So whose were they? Beneath the files, I found medical reports. Lab results. Imaging scans. Diagnosis, neuroblastoma. Stage 4, metastatic. My stomach dropped. Neuroblastoma, childhood cancer. Usually in the adrenal glands. Aggressive, deadly. But 3 kids? Same diagnosis? Same progression? I kept reading. Prognosis, terminal. Estimated survival, 7 to 14 days without intervention. Intervention. What intervention? Then I found the prescription records. Vincristine, cyclophosphamide, standard chemo drugs. But something was wrong with the dosages. They were off. Too high in some places, too low in others. I pulled out my phone and snapped photos. Every page, every prescription, every lab result. That's when I heard it. Footsteps. In the hallway. My heart stopped. I shoved everything back in the drawer, locked it, and bolted toward the door. What are you doing? Dante stood in the doorway, filling the frame like an avenging angel in Armani. Think fast, Angela. Looking for you, I said, forcing my voice steady. Hope was asking for you. His eyes flicked to the desk, to the drawer, back to me. In my locked office. The door was open. No. He stepped inside, closing the door behind him. It wasn't. We stared at each other, predator and prey, and I wasn't sure which was which. Miss Reeds, he said softly, dangerously. Are you lying to me? Are you lying to me? I shot back. About what's killing those girls? His jaw clenched. Get out. Not until you tell me the truth. The truth? He laughed, bitter, broken. You can't handle the truth. Try me. He moved closer, close enough that I could see the exhaustion etched in his face, the kind that came from carrying unbearable weight. They're not sick, he said finally. The files say. The files are wrong. His voice cracked. Someone is poisoning them. The room tilted. What? And if you tell anyone, he continued, whoever's doing it will kill them faster. Maybe kill you too. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think, couldn't process what he'd just said. Poisoning them? My voice came out strangled. You're telling me someone is actively murdering 3 5-year-olds and you're just keeping them here? Dante's hands curled into fists. You think I have a choice? Yes. Call the police. Call the FBI. And tell them what? He stepped closer, voice dropping to a harsh whisper. That someone in my organization is killing children I'm not legally related to. That I have enemies who'd rather see me suffer than die. They'd take the girls into custody, and whoever's poisoning them has reach everywhere. Foster care, hospitals, morgues. The weight of it crashed over me. So you just watch them die? No. His eyes met mine, and for the first time I saw it, the desperation beneath the control. I've been trying to find the source, testing their food, their medicine, their clothes, everything. And nothing. It's sophisticated, slow-acting, designed to mimic cancer perfectly. I thought about the medical files, the crossed-out names. They're not your daughters, I said. His shoulders tensed. No. Then whose are they? Silence stretched between us like a chasm. I don't know, he finally admitted. 5 years ago, someone left them on my doorstep. 3 babies in yellow blankets. No note, no explanation. And you just kept them? Something raw flickered across his face. My sister had just been killed in a hit meant for me. I was drowning in guilt and blood and… He stopped, jaw working. Those babies were the first innocent thing I'd touched in years. I couldn't just throw them away. My heart did something stupid, something dangerous. It softened toward him. So you raised them. I gave them safety, a home, protection. His voice turned bitter. And someone still found a way to hurt them. To hurt me through them. Who would do this? Take your pick. I have enemies in 12 countries and 4 continents. He moved to his desk, poured whiskey with shaking hands. But this is personal. Psychological warfare. They want me to watch them die slowly, to break me. Is it working? He downed the whiskey in one swallow. Yes. The confession hung between us, raw and honest. The nannies who left, I said. Did they figure it out? No, they saw other things. Things that reminded them I'm a monster. He looked at me then, really looked. Things that will eventually remind you too. Try me. You're either very brave or very stupid, Angela Reeds. Both, I said. And I'm not leaving those girls. His expression shifted surprise, relief, something almost like hope. Then God help us both. Sleep was impossible. I lay in my bed, staring at the ceiling, mind racing through everything Dante had told me. Someone was poisoning 3 little girls. And I had 6 days to figure out who. No, not just who. How to stop it. I waited until 2 a.m., then crept back to Dante's office. This time, he was there, tie loosened, looking like hell warmed over. Can't sleep either? He asked, without looking up from whatever documents he was studying. Show me everything, I said. He raised an eyebrow. Everything? Every test you've run, every person with access to the girls, every meal, every medication, every person who's touched them. For a long moment, he just stared at me. Then he opened a different drawer and pulled out a thick file. This is everyone who's been in contact with them in the last 6 months, he said. Household staff, security, delivery people, me. I grabbed the file. 43 people. Any of them have motive? All of them. He leaned back in his chair. That's the problem with my world, Miss Reeds. Everyone has a reason to betray everyone. What about the medication? Who handles it? Marco picks it up from my private pharmacist. I watch him give it to them. So either the pharmacist is tampering with it, or it's not in the medication, Dante finished. Which means it's in something else. Food, water, air, their clothes, their toys. Could be anything. I started pacing. The cancer diagnosis is fake, right? Not entirely. They're exhibiting real symptoms. The poison is designed to mimic neuroblastoma, weight loss, fatigue, nausea, even the hair loss. That's sophisticated. That's expensive, he corrected. This wasn't some amateur job. This was military-grade chemical warfare. The words sent ice through my veins. Then we test everything ourselves, I said. Not through your people, through mine. You have access to toxicology labs? I have access to Google and a college roommate who works in pharmaceutical research. I met his eyes. We take samples. We send them privately. We find the source. And if whoever's doing this finds out you're investigating, then they'll have to go through me first. A muscle in his jaw twitched. You really are stupid. Or really stubborn. He almost smiled. Almost. Tomorrow, he said. We start collecting samples, carefully. If we tip anyone off. We won't. He studied me for a long moment. Why are you doing this? I thought about Hope asking about birthday cake. About Grace's small hand in mine. About Faith counting backwards from 1,000. Because someone has to. Marco was the first suspect. He'd been with the Rossi family for 12 years, according to the file. Head chef, loyal, trusted. Which made him either perfect or perfectly positioned. I watched him that morning as he prepared the girls' breakfast. Every movement precise, every ingredient measured. He hummed while he cooked old Italian songs that felt like lullabies. The girls loved him. They called him Uncle Marco and made him laugh with knock-knock jokes that weren't funny. He didn't seem like a killer. But then again, neither did Dante until you looked closer at the blood on his hands. You're staring, Marco said, without turning around. Just admiring your technique. Technique doesn't feed hungry bambinas. Love does. He plated their food perfectly, cut fruit, yogurt, vitamins arranged like a rainbow. You want to learn? Learn what? How to cook for them, since you're staying. He finally looked at me, dark eyes knowing. You are staying, yes? Yes. Good, they need someone who doesn't run. He handed me a knife. Come, I'll teach you. For the next hour I learned Marco's routine. The special ingredients he used. The way he tested everything twice. The organic suppliers. The filtered water. And I pocketed samples of everything. But it was when I reached for the spice cabinet that I found it. A jar that didn't belong. Plain glass. No label. Filled with white powder that looked like sugar but wasn't. What's this? I asked casually. Marco's face went pale. I don't know. I've never seen that before. It's in your cabinet. I didn't put it there. His voice rose, panicked. I swear on my mother's grave I didn't. Marco. I softened my voice. I believe you. He slumped against the counter. Someone is trying to frame me. Or use your kitchen without you knowing. We stared at the jar. We need to test this, I said. How? Dante's pharmacist. Not through Dante's people. I pocketed the jar carefully. I have another way. That's when we heard it. A crash from upstairs. Then screaming. We both ran, taking stairs 2 at a time. The girls' room. Faith was on the floor, convulsing. Grace was crying. Hope was frozen, eyes wide with terror. Call Dante, I yelled at Marco, dropping to my knees beside Faith. She was seizing. Hard. Foam at her lips. Stay with me, baby, I whispered, turning her on her side. Stay with me. Marco was shouting into his phone in Italian. And all I could think was, we're running out of time. Dante arrived in 12 minutes. 12 minutes of me holding Faith's shaking body, whispering prayers I didn't know I remembered. He scooped her up like she weighed nothing, jaw locked, eyes dead. The car, now. I grabbed Hope and Grace, who clung to me like lifelines, and we all piled into a black SUV that absolutely had seen murders. But we didn't go to a hospital. We went to a warehouse. Where are we? I demanded as Dante carried Faith inside. Somewhere safer than any ER in Manhattan. The warehouse opened into something else entirely, a full medical facility. Clean. Professional. Equipped with machines that probably cost 6 figures each. A woman in scrubs met us immediately. Late 40s. No nonsense. Didn't even blink at the unconscious child in Dante's arms. Examination room 2, she ordered. Dante laid Faith down so gently it hurt to watch. What happened? The doctor asked. Already checking vitals. Seizure, I said. Lasted about 3 minutes. She was conscious when it started. The doctor's eyes flicked to me. You medical? No, just stubborn. Almost smile. I'm Dr. Chen. I've been monitoring the girls. She turned to Dante. When was her last dose? This morning. 7 a.m., exactly. And she ate? Everything Marco prepared, I confirmed. Dr. Chen worked quickly, drawing blood, starting an IV, checking Faith's pupils with a penlight. Faith's eyes fluttered open. Am I dead? Not yet, sweetheart, Dr. Chen said gently. We're going to keep it that way. Hope and Grace pressed against me, trembling. It's getting worse, Hope whispered. I looked at Dante. His expression was granite, but his hands shook as he brushed hair from Faith's face. I need to run tests, Dr. Chen said. Full toxicology screen. But, she looked at Dante meaningfully. If this is what we think it is, we're running out of time. How long? He asked, voice flat. Days. Maybe less. The room went silent except for the beeping of monitors. Run the tests, Dante said. Everything. I don't care what it costs. It's not about cost, Dr. Chen replied. It's about whether we can identify the compound before. Before what? Grace asked in her small voice. Everyone froze. Dr. Chen knelt down to her level. Before it's too late to counteract it, little one. Oh, Grace considered this. So we're still dying. Grace, I started. It's okay, she said matter-of-factly. We've been dying for a while now. We're used to it. Something in my chest cracked clean through. Dante turned away, shoulders rigid. And I made a decision. Dr. Chen, I said, pulling the jar from my pocket. Test this too. Dante's head snapped toward me. Where did you get that? Marco's spice cabinet. He says he didn't put it there. Our eyes met across the room. Then we're about to find out who did. We waited in a glass-walled office while Dr. Chen ran tests. Dante stood at the window, silent. Lethal. A man carved from ice and fury. Hope, Grace, and Faith colored at a small table, an activity that felt obscenely normal after Faith's seizure. Dante? Grace called softly. He turned immediately. Yes, Piccola? If we die, will you be sad? The question landed like a gunshot. His mask cracked. Just for a second. Just enough. Yes, he said quietly. Very sad. Good, she said, returning to her coloring. We'd be sad if you weren't. I watched him struggle to breathe. Watched this dangerous man, this killer, nearly break over a 5-year-old's honesty. Then Dr. Chen returned, tablet in hand, expression grim. Results are back. We followed her into a private lab. The girls stayed with a nurse, thank God. The compound in the jar, Dr. Chen began, pulling up chemical formulas I didn't understand. It's a synthetic neurotoxin, exceptionally rare, military grade. What does it do? I asked. Mimics cancer symptoms perfectly, attacks the nervous system, mimics tumor growth in imaging, causes cell degradation identical to neuroblastoma. She looked at us. This is designer poison. Someone paid millions for this. Dante's jaw clenched. How long have they been exposed? Based on the blood work? At least 6 months, maybe longer. 6 months, half a year of slow death. Can you counteract it? Dante demanded. Dr. Chen hesitated. Theoretically, yes. But I'd need the exact chemical structure, which requires specialized equipment and expertise I don't have. Then find someone who does. Dante. She met his eyes. Even if we identify it perfectly, synthesizing an antidote takes weeks, maybe months. These girls have days. The room went cold. So we're back to watching them die, I said bitterly. Not necessarily. Dr. S. Chen pulled up another screen. There's a biochemist in Brooklyn, former military, works off-grid now, makes custom compounds for, let's say, discreet clients. You mean criminals, Dante said flatly. I mean people who need things that don't exist in legal markets. She wrote down an address. If anyone can reverse engineer an antidote quickly, it's him. Will he help? I asked. Dr. Chen laughed darkly. For the right price, he'd synthesize immortality itself. Dante took the address. How much time do the girls have? Faith's seizure was a warning sign. The toxin is accelerating. She looked at her watch. 72 hours. Maybe less. 3 days. We need to move now, I said. Dante was already heading for the door. The lab was a vegan ice cream shop. I'm not kidding. Bright pink walls. Menu featuring flavors like chakra coconut and nirvana nuts. A teenager with blue hair working the register. This is a joke, right? I whispered to Dante. The best criminals hide in plain sight. He walked to the counter and ordered 2 scoops of something called Enlightenment Espresso. The blue-haired kid didn't even blink. For here or to go? For research purposes. Code words. Had to be. The kid nodded. Back room's open. He's expecting you. We walked through a door marked Employees Only and descended stairs that smelled like bleach and secrets. The basement was the opposite of the shop above, sterile, high-tech, wall-to-wall equipment that probably violated 70 federal laws. And sitting at a computer, wearing a Science is Magic t-shirt, was a man in his 50s with kind eyes and dangerous hands. "Dante Rossi," he said without looking up. "Thought you'd be taller." "Dr. Yates," Dante replied coolly. "Thought you'd be in prison." "Tried it. Didn't take." He finally turned. "What do you need?" I stepped forward, pulling out the vial of Faith's blood and the jar of powder. "We need an antidote. Fast." Dr. Yates took the samples, held them up to the light. "For?" "Designer neurotoxin. Mimics neuroblastoma. 3 children, 5 years old, 72 hours to live." He whistled low. "That's some supervillain shit right there. Can you help or not?" Dante's voice could cut steel. "Depends." Dr. Yates looked at him. "Can you pay?" "Name your price." $2 million, half up front." "Done." I blinked. $2 million, like ordering coffee. Dr. Yates loaded the samples into a machine that looked like it belonged in a sci-fi movie. "This'll take 12 hours to fully sequence. Then another 24 to synthesize the antidote. Assuming nothing goes wrong." "And if something goes wrong?" I asked. "Then those kids die, and I keep the money." He said it so casually I wanted to hit him. Dante grabbed him by the collar, lifting him out of his chair. "If those girls die because you screwed up, I'll make sure you follow them." Dr. Yates didn't even flinch. "Threats don't motivate me, Rossi. Results do. Now let me work." Dante released him, jaw tight. 36 hours, Dr. Yates confirmed. "Come back then. I'll either have your miracle or your money back." "Keep the money," Dante said. "Just save them." We left the ice cream shop in silence. In the car, Dante's hands gripped the steering wheel like he wanted to break it. "What if he can't do it?" I whispered. "Then I'll find someone who can." "Dante, we're running out of—" "I know." His voice cracked. "I know." While we waited for Dr. Yates, I couldn't stop thinking about what Hope had said. The truth is in the West Wing. That night, after the girls fell asleep and Dante locked himself in his office, I made a decision. I was going to break his biggest rule. The West Wing door was locked, obviously, but I'd gotten pretty good at picking locks. 30 seconds later, I was in. The hallway was dark, too dark, like someone wanted to hide what was at the end. I used my phone flashlight, moving carefully. The first room I found was a nursery, perfectly preserved, pink walls, 3 cribs, toys still in their packaging. This was where the girls had been when they first arrived. I kept moving. The second room made my blood run cold. Photographs. Hundreds of them. Covering every wall like obsessive wallpaper. Photos of the girls as babies. As toddlers. Candid shots of them playing, sleeping, laughing. And in every single photo, someone had been cut out. Literally. Scissor marks where another person should have been. Someone had been erased from their lives. Who? I found files on a desk. More medical records. But these were different, older. From when the girls first arrived. DNA test results. My hands shook as I opened it. Subject A. Hope. No paternal match to Dante Rossi. Subject B. Grace. No paternal match to Dante Rossi. Subject C. Faith. No paternal match to Dante Rossi. I knew that already. But then I saw the second page. Maternal DNA match found. Lucia Rossi. Deceased. Lucia, Dante's sister. The girls weren't random babies left on his doorstep. They were his nieces. His sister's children. "I told you not to come here." I spun around. Dante stood in the doorway, backlit by hallway light, looking like vengeance incarnated. "They're Lucia's," I said. His jaw tightened. "Yes." "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because it doesn't matter." He stepped into the room. "She's dead. They're mine now. It matters if someone's trying to hurt them because of her. Someone's trying to hurt them because of me." His voice turned bitter. "Everything I touch turns to ash and blood. She knew that. That's why she hid them from me." "Then why send them to you after she died?" "I don't know." The words exploded out of him. "I don't know who their father is. I don't know why she hid them. I don't know why someone wants them dead. All I know is that I failed her, and now I'm failing them." The pain in his voice was unbearable. "You're not failing them," I said softly. "You're fighting for them. Fighting isn't enough. Then we fight harder." He looked at me, really looked like he was seeing me for the first time. "Why?" he asked. "Why do you care so much?" "Because someone has to," I said. And because they deserve more than just surviving. They deserve to live. Something shifted in his eyes. Something dangerous. Something like hope. Day 5. Time was bleeding out. Faith hadn't woken up properly since her seizure. Hope was too weak to walk. Grace kept vomiting everything she ate. Dr. Chen moved them back to the warehouse facility for round-the-clock monitoring. I refused to leave their side. Dante paced the hallway like a caged animal, making phone calls in Italian that sounded like death threats. "Any word from Dr. Yates?" I asked when he finally stopped moving. 12 more hours. 12 hours. The girls might not have 12 hours. I sat between Hope and Grace's beds, holding their small hands. "Angela?" Hope whispered, eyes barely open. "I'm here, baby. Are you going to leave like the others?" My throat tightened. "Never. Promise." "I promise. Even if we die." I looked at her beautiful face, so small against the white pillow. "You're not going to die. You keep saying that." She smiled weakly. "But we feel like it." Grace stirred. "Tell us a story. About the girl who doesn't give up." So I did. I told them about a girl who was broke and desperate but refused to break. About how she walked into a dangerous man's home and fell in love with 3 little girls who deserved the world. "Is the story true?" Faith asked from her bed, voice barely audible. "Every word." "Does it have a happy ending?" I looked at Dante through the glass wall. He was watching us, expression unreadable. "It's still being written," I said. "But I think it might." That's when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. "I have your antidote, but there's been a complication. Come alone, Yates." My stomach dropped. Come alone? That was never good. But the girls were dying. I looked at their faces so pale, so fragile, and made a decision. I slipped out while Dante was distracted with Dr. Chen. The drive to Brooklyn felt like descending into hell. The ice cream shop was closed, dark, but the basement light was on. I went down the stairs, every instinct screaming this was wrong. Dr. Yates was at his desk. But he wasn't alone. A man stood behind him. Tall, expensive suit. Gun pressed to Dr. Yates's head. "Angela Reeds," the stranger said, smiling. "So glad you could make it." My blood ran cold. "Who are you?" "Someone who's been waiting a very long time for you to care about something." His finger tightened on the trigger. "Now, let's talk about what you're willing to trade for 3 little lives." Behind him, I saw it. 3 vials of clear liquid. The antidote. The man's smile was surgical, precise, cruel. "My name is Victor Volkov," he said, like I should know it. "And you've become quite the problem." "I don't even know you." "No, but I know you. The nanny who won't quit, the girl who investigates, the one making Dante Rossi care again." He pressed the gun harder against Dr. Yates's skull. "That's unacceptable." My mind raced. "This isn't about the girls." "Oh, it's always been about the girls. Just not the way you think." He gestured with his free hand to the antidote. "Those 3 little angels, they were supposed to break him. Slow torture, psychological warfare. Watch the mighty Dante Rossi crumble under guilt and helplessness. You're the one poisoning them." "I'm the one who commissioned their poison, yes. Elegant, wasn't it? Make it look like cancer, untraceable, inevitable." His eyes glittered. "But then you showed up. And ruined your plan. You made him hope again. That's worse than any bullet." Victor's expression hardened. "So now I need to take something from him that actually matters. The girls are already dead in his mind. He's been grieving for months." Victor looked at me. "But you're new, you're hope. You're the one thing he might actually try to save." "Oh God. Here's the deal," Victor continued. "You come with me, quietly. Or I kill Dr. Yates right now, destroy the antidote, and let those little girls die screaming." Dr. Yates's eyes met mine, terrified, apologetic. "What do you want with me?" I asked. "Leverage, bait, whatever makes Dante Rossi stupid enough to walk into my trap." He tilted his head. "So what's it gonna be, Angela? Your life or theirs?" I thought about Hope asking about birthday cake, Grace's small hand in mine, Faith counting backwards. "If I go with you," I said carefully, "you give me the antidote first. I administer it. I see them safe. Then I'm yours." Victor laughed. "You think I'm stupid? I think you need me alive for your plan to work. And I think those girls dying right now doesn't serve your timeline." I met his eyes. "Give me 2 hours, that's all I need." He considered this. 1 hour. He countered. "You administer the antidote. You confirm it works. Then you text me this address, and you come alone. If you tell Dante, if you try to run, if you bring anyone. I know, I interrupted. You'll kill them anyway. Smart girl. He lowered the gun, grabbed the antidote vials, and tossed them to me. 1 hour, Angela reads. Don't make me wait. I drove back with 3 vials of salvation and 1 hour to save everyone but myself. My hands shook on the steering wheel. I could tell Dante. He'd wage war against Victor, burn down half of Brooklyn to keep me safe. But Victor would kill the girls the second he suspected betrayal. Or I could save the girls and sacrifice myself. Some choice. I made it back to the facility with 43 minutes left. Dante met me at the door. Where the hell were you? Getting this. I held up the vials. His eyes widened. The antidote? Yates came through. I pushed past him before he could ask questions, heading straight for the girls' room. Dr. Chen looked up, startled. Angela? I need you to administer this. Now. She took the vials, examining them. Did Yates test these? No time, the girls are dying. Angela, if this is wrong. It's not. I prayed I wasn't lying. Please. Dr. Chen looked at Dante. He nodded once. Okay, she said. But this is experimental, untested. If anything goes wrong. Nothing will go wrong, I said firmly. I held Hope's hand as Dr. Chen prepared the first injection. This might hurt, sweetheart, I whispered. Hope's eyes fluttered open. It's okay, everything hurts already. The needle went in. Then Grace. Then Faith. We waited. 30 seconds. 1 minute. 2. What's supposed to happen? Dante asked, voice tight. Yates said we'd see improvement within 10 minutes, Dr. Chen replied. Or, she didn't finish. She didn't have to. I sat there, holding all 3 girls' hands, watching the monitors. Dante stood behind me, a hand on my shoulder, grounding me. Or maybe I was grounding him. 7 minutes passed. 8. Then. I'm hungry, Faith whispered. Everyone froze. What? Dr. Chen leaned forward. Hungry, Faith repeated, stronger this time. Like, really hungry. Grace stirred. Me too. Hope opened her eyes fully, more alert than she'd been in days. Can we have pancakes? Dr. Chen checked their vitals, hands flying across machines. Heart rate normalizing. Oxygen levels rising. Color returning to their faces. She looked up, tears in her eyes. It's working. Dante's hand tightened on my shoulder. Thank you, he whispered. I closed my eyes. 31 minutes left. Dante, I said quietly, can I talk to you, alone? I need you to listen without interrupting, I said once we were in the hallway. Dante crossed his arms. What did you do? I made a deal. His expression went glacial. With who? Viktor Volkov. The name hit him like a bullet. Color drained from his face. How do you even know that name? He was at Yates's lab, with a gun to his head. I forced myself to meet his eyes. He's the one poisoning the girls. This was never about them. It was about breaking you. Dante's hands curled into fists. And you made a deal with him? Are you insane? He was going to kill Yates and destroy the antidote. The girls would have died. So instead you traded yourself? I traded time. I pulled out my phone, showing him Victor's text. 23 minutes left. The girls are safe now. That's what matters. Like hell it is. Dante grabbed my shoulders. You're not going to him. I have to. No, I'll handle Victor. He said if you come, he kills everyone. The girls, me, Yates, everyone. My voice cracked. This is the only way. There's always another way. Not this time. I pulled away. Those girls deserve to grow up, to have birthdays with rainbow cake, to count past 30, and if me disappearing for a while means they get that chance. A while? Dante laughed bitterly. Angela, Victor doesn't take prisoners. He takes corpses. Then I'll be the first to survive him. You don't understand what you're dealing with. I understand that 3 little girls are alive because of the choice I made, and I'd make it again. I checked my phone. 19 minutes. I need you to promise me something. No. Promise me you'll take care of them. That you'll tell them I didn't abandon them. His jaw clenched. I'm not letting you do this. You don't have a choice. Yes, I do. He pulled out his phone, making a call. Marco, get the house ready. We're moving the girls tonight. He hung up, looking at me. We're going dark, all of us. Victor wants to play games? Fine, but he doesn't get to win. Dante. I've been hunting Viktor Volkov for 3 years, he said. He killed my sister, he poisoned the girls, and now he thinks he can take you? His eyes burned. Not while I'm breathing. If you go after him. I'm not going after him. We're disappearing. Completely. New identities, new city, new lives. He took my hands. The girls need you. He stopped, jaw working. We're not losing you. 15 minutes. My phone buzzed. Time's almost up, Angela. I'm a patient man, but not that patient. We need to go, Dante said. Now. We moved the girls in the middle of the night. Dr. Chen came with us. Marco too. And 6 heavily armed men who looked like they'd fought wars for breakfast. The safe house was upstate, 3 hours from the city, hidden in woods that swallowed sound. The girls slept through the transfer, still recovering from the antidote. But I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Victor's smile, heard his voice. You've become quite the problem. Dante found me on the porch at 4 a.m., wrapped in a blanket, watching darkness. Can't sleep? Can't stop thinking. He sat beside me, close enough that our shoulders touched. He's going to come for me, I said. For all of us. Let him try. You sound confident. I am. He looked at me. Victor's good at psychological warfare, but he's never fought someone with everything to lose. You've lost before. Not like this. His voice dropped. Not when it actually mattered. Something in my chest tightened. The girls, I said. They're what matters. Yes. And keeping them safe. Yes. So if Victor finds us. He won't. But if he does. Dante grabbed my hand. Then we fight. Together. No more deals. No more sacrifices. We face him as a family. Family. The word hung between us like a promise. I'm just the nanny, I whispered. No. His thumb traced circles on my palm. You're the woman who saved my girls, who made me remember what it feels like to hope. He lifted my hand to his lips. You're the one thing Victor got right. What do you mean? You make me care again. His eyes met mine. And that makes you either my greatest strength or my greatest weakness. Which one am I? Both. Inside, we heard movement. Small feet, on hardwood. Hope appeared in the doorway, dragging her yellow blanket. Can't sleep, she said. Too many dreams about the bad place. I opened my arms. She climbed into my lap. Still so small. Still so fragile. We're safe now, I told her. Promise? I looked at Dante. At this dangerous man who'd burned down his world to protect 3 little girls who weren't even his. Promise, I said. But promises, I was learning, were expensive in Dante's world. And Viktor Volkov was about to send the bill. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Hide all you want, Angela. I've always loved a good hunt. See you soon. V. Attached was a photo. Our safe house. From the outside. Taken 10 minutes ago. Dante saw my expression. Saw the phone. Get inside, he said quietly. Now. Then louder, to his men. We have company. How did he find us? I demanded, carrying hope inside. Dante was already barking orders in Italian, his men moving with military precision. Doesn't matter. We move again. 5 minutes. We can't keep running with sick children. They're getting stronger. They just got the antidote 12 hours ago. I set Hope down carefully. They need rest, not another midnight car chase. Dr. Chen appeared, looking exhausted. Angela's right. Moving them again could undo everything the antidote accomplished. Dante's expression was murder. Then we make our stand here. Against Victor's entire operation? If that's what it takes. Marco ran in. Boss, we have movement in the tree line. At least a dozen men, maybe more. Dante pulled a gun from his jacket, checked the clip. His face had transformed into something cold. Lethal. The Mafia boss, instead of the surrogate father. Marco, take the girls to the basement safe room. Angela, Dr. Chen, you go with them. I'm not hiding while you. This isn't a discussion. His voice was steel. You keep them alive. That's your job. This, he gestured to the approaching danger. This is mine. The lights went out. All of them. Simultaneously. Positions! Dante shouted. Gunfire erupted. Glass shattered. The girls started screaming. I grabbed Hope and Grace. Marco lifted Faith. We ran toward the basement stairs as bullets tore through walls like they were paper. Go, 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 Marco ordered. We stumbled downstairs in the dark. Dr. Chen sealed the door behind us, reinforced steel. Thank God. The safe room was small. Concrete walls, emergency supplies, one flickering light, and 3 terrified little girls. What's happening? Grace sobbed. Just grown-ups being stupid, I said, trying to sound calm. We're safe down here. Dante's up there, Hope whispered. He knows what he's doing. People die when they know what they're doing, Faith said matter-of-factly. Above us, the gunfire intensified. Explosions, shouting, the sounds of war. Grace vomited. Stress, probably. Or the antidote still working through her system. Dr. Chen checked vitals with a portable monitor. Heart rates elevated but stable. Temperature slightly raised. This stress isn't good for them. Nothing about this is good for them, I muttered. Then silence. Complete. Absolute. Worse than the gunfire. Marco positioned himself at the door, gun raised. We waited. 1 minute. 5. 10. Then, a knock. Angela? Dante's voice. It's me. Open up. Marco didn't move. How do we know it's really you? He called through the steel. Because I'm not patient enough to play games. Open the damn door before I blow it open. Definitely Dante. Marco unsealed the door. Dante stood there, covered in blood that probably wasn't his, breathing hard. Victor? I asked. Gone, for now. He looked at the girls. Everyone okay? They nodded, but Hope ran to him, wrapping arms around his legs. Don't die, she said simply. Something in his face cracked. He lifted her up, holding her tight. Not planning on it, Piccola. Good, because Angela says we're a family now, and families don't leave. Over Hope's head, Dante's eyes met mine. No, he said softly. They don't. 24 hours after the attack, something miraculous happened. Hope laughed. Not a polite chuckle. A real, genuine, belly laugh that filled the entire safe house. What's so funny? Grace asked, grinning despite herself. Marco's mustache. Hope giggled. It looks like a caterpillar died on his face. Marco clutched his chest dramatically. Betrayed by bambinas. This is how you repay my excellent cooking? Your cooking is okay, Faith added, but your mustache is definitely dead. More laughter. Real. Alive. Human. Dr. Chen pulled me aside. Their color is returning. Energy levels rising. The antidote is working better than I hoped. They're going to be okay? I whispered. They're going to be okay. I had to sit down. Relief hit me like a physical blow. That afternoon, Dante appeared with a rainbow cake. It's not their birthday yet, I said. Close enough. He set it on the table where the girls were coloring. We're celebrating being alive. That's every day, Faith pointed out. Exactly. We sang off key. The girls blew out candles. Marco cut slices that were way too big. Hope got frosting on her nose and laughed. Grace asked for seconds. Faith saved sprinkles for later, just in case. Dante sat next to me, close enough that our knees touched. Thank you, he said quietly. For what? For not giving up on them. On me. I'm stubborn like that. His lips curved. I noticed. For one perfect moment, everything was okay. The girls were healthy. We were safe. We were together. Then came the knock at the door. Not the aggressive pounding from Victor's men. This was different. Controlled. 3 precise knocks. Dante stood immediately, hand moving to his gun. Marco checked the security monitor. His face went pale. Boss, he said, you need to see this. On the screen, a man in an expensive suit. Alone. Unarmed. But it was the face that made my blood run cold. Because I'd seen it before. In the photographs from the West Wing. The ones where someone had been cut out. No, Dante breathed. Who is it? I asked. He looked at me, expression somewhere between fury and devastation. Their father's dead, I said. Lucia never told anyone who he was. She told me. Dante's voice was ice. Once. Right before she died. And I told her he was dead to us. That if he ever came near those girls, I'd kill him myself. His hand tightened on his gun. Looks like he's testing that promise. Maybe he's here to help. Dante laughed bitterly. Men like Alexei Volkov don't help, they collect. My stomach dropped. Volkov? Victor's older brother. The real head of the organization. Dante checked his weapon. This just became much worse. Marco kept the security feed running. Alexei stood patiently at the door, hands visible, making no aggressive moves. He could have brought an army, I pointed out. He didn't. Because he doesn't need one. Dante holstered his gun. Keep the girls downstairs. If this goes wrong. It won't, Angela. It won't, I repeated. Because you're going to let me open that door. Absolutely not. He's their father. Maybe he has answers. He has agendas. That's different. I grabbed Dante's arm. 2 hours ago those girls were laughing, actually living. If there's even a chance Alexei knows something about the poison, about how to keep them safe. He's the reason they needed poison in the first place. What do you mean? Dante's jaw clenched. Victor poisoned the girls to hurt me, but Alexei. He stopped. Alexei let it happen. To draw me out, to force me into war. The girls were just collateral damage. Horror washed over me. Their own father let them be poisoned? Welcome to my world. Fourth knock. Still patient. Still waiting. Don't make me break this door, Dante. Alexei called from outside. We both know I can. Dante moved to the door, unlocked it, opened it just enough to block entry. Alexei stood there, perfectly composed. Late 40s. Silver at his temples. Eyes the same shade as Hope's. You look well, Alexei said pleasantly. Fatherhood suits you. They're not yours anymore. Blood says otherwise. Blood doesn't raise children. I did. Alexei's smile was surgical. Then you'll understand why I'm here. Victor has become problematic. His obsession with breaking you has endangered my investment. Your investment? I couldn't stay quiet. They're children, not stocks. His eyes shifted to me, cold, calculating. And you must be the nanny everyone's talking about. Angela Reed's. The girl who won't quit. The girl who won't let children die, I corrected. Admirable. He looked back at Dante. I'm here to offer peace. Victor acts without my approval. The poisoning stops. The war ends. The girls live. In exchange for what? Dante asked flatly. A conversation. 5 minutes. Just you and me. Alexei gestured behind him. I came alone as a show of good faith. Your good faith murdered 3 children for 6 months. My brother's vendetta nearly murdered them. I'm here to stop it. Alexei's voice hardened. You think I wanted Lucia's daughters used as pawns? She was the only person I ever loved. The confession hung heavy. Dante studied him for a long moment, then stepped aside. 5 minutes. Marco, gun to his head the entire time. Marco moved into position immediately, weapon pressed to Alexei's temple. Alexei didn't even flinch. Still so dramatic, Dante. They moved to the dining room. I followed, despite Dante's warning glare. Alexei sat at the head of the table like he owned it. The antidote you administered came from my lab, not Victor's. Bullshit, I said. Dr. Yates works for me, has for years. Did you really think a genius biochemist operates a vegan ice cream shop without powerful backing? He smiled. I had him synthesize the antidote 6 months ago, when I learned what Victor had done. Then why let them suffer? Dante demanded. Because Victor watches everything I do. If I'd intervened directly, he would have killed them immediately. Alexei's eyes flicked to me. But a desperate nanny? A brilliant nanny who fights like a lion for 3 dying children? That, my brother wouldn't see coming. My blood ran cold. You used me. I gave you the tools. You saved them. Everyone wins. Not everyone, Dante said darkly. Victor's still breathing. Not for much longer. Alexei pulled out a phone, showing a location pin. My brother will be at this warehouse tomorrow night, alone, making a deal he thinks I don't know about. Why tell me this? Because you've wanted him dead for 3 years, and because... Alexei looked toward the basement door. Those girls deserve better than living in fear. Dante stared at the location. This is a trap, I said. Of course it is, Alexei agreed. But not for Dante, for Victor. He thinks he's meeting an arms dealer. Instead, he looked at Dante. He'll find the ghost of his sister. Silence. Why? Dante asked. Why help me kill your brother? Alexei's mask slipped. Just for a second. Because Lucia asked me to protect those girls with her dying breath. And I failed her. This is how I fix it. After Alexei left, I confronted Dante in the kitchen. You can't seriously be considering this. Why not? Because it's obviously a trap. For Victor, not for me. You don't know that. I grabbed his arm. Alexei could be lying about everything. The antidote, Dr. Yates, all of it. The girls are alive. That part's not a lie. What if he's using you to eliminate Victor so he has no competition? Dante turned to face me fully. Then I'm being used to kill a man who poisoned 3 children and tried to kidnap you. I can live with that. Can you live with dying? My voice cracked. Because that's what happens if this goes wrong. I've been dying slowly for 3 years, at least this way. I go out doing something that matters. You matter. The words exploded out of me. To those girls. To Marco and Dr. Chen. I stopped. To you? He finished quietly. I looked away. Don't make me say it. Why not? Because you already know. His hand cupped my jaw, turning me back to face him. Say it anyway. I can't lose you, I whispered. The girls can't lose you. We need you. And I need Victor dead. His thumb traced my cheekbone. Angela, as long as he's alive, none of us are safe. He'll keep coming, keep hunting, keep trying to take everything I love, everything he loves. Then let me come with you, I said. No. Dante. You stay here, with the girls, where it's safe. Nowhere is safe, not anymore. Then you make it safe. You keep them alive. You keep being the miracle they need. His forehead touched mine. That's how you help me. By giving me a reason to come back. Footsteps on the stairs. Small ones. Hope appeared, dragging her yellow blanket. Are you fighting? No, Piccola, Dante said gently. Just talking. It sounds like fighting. She yawned. Can you read us a story? Grace and Faith can't sleep either. I looked at Dante. He nodded. Go, he said softly. I'll be up in a minute. As I took Hope's hand and headed upstairs, I heard him make a phone call. In Italian. Low. Deadly. Planning tomorrow's war. I couldn't let him go alone. So at midnight, after everyone was asleep, I made my own phone call. To Alexei. Miss Reed's. He answered immediately. I wondered when you'd call. I want to make a deal. I'm listening. Tomorrow when Dante goes after Victor, I want to be there. Silence. That's suicide. Alexei said finally. That's insurance. If something goes wrong, if Victor gets the upper hand, I can be leverage. A distraction. Something. You want to offer yourself as bait. I want to keep Dante alive. More silence. Then, you love him. I love the girls. And they need their father. He's not their father. Yes, I said firmly. He is. Alexei exhaled. If I agree to this, Dante will kill me. If you don't agree, and he dies, I'll kill you myself. He laughed, surprised. Genuine. You really are something, Miss Reed's. Fine. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. I'll have someone pick you up. Dante can't know. Obviously. I hung up, heart pounding. What had I just done? A voice behind me. Something incredibly stupid. I spun around. Marco stood in the kitchen doorway, expression unreadable. How long have you been there? I asked. Long enough. He moved closer. Does Dante know? No. Are you going to tell him? No. Marco studied me for a long moment. Then, I'm coming with you. Marco. You think I let you walk into a war zone alone? Dante would have my head. Literally. He crossed his arms. Besides, someone needs to make sure you don't get killed. This isn't your fight. Those girls call me Uncle Marco. They make me laugh. They ask me to taste test pancakes. His voice softened. It became my fight the moment they smiled at me. I wanted to hug him. Cry. Something. Thank you, I whispered. Save the thanks for after we survive. He headed toward his room. Get some sleep. Tomorrow's going to be hell. He was right. But I didn't sleep. I spent the night sitting with the girls, watching them breathe, memorizing their faces, just in case it was the last time. The warehouse was exactly where Alexei said it would be. Abandoned, industrial, the kind of place where screams got swallowed by concrete and rust. Marco and I waited in a van 2 blocks away, watching through surveillance feeds Alexei had provided. On screen, Dante arrived. 6 men with him, all armed, all ready to die. This is insane, Marco muttered. We should be down there with him. He told us to stay with the girls. And you listened? Since when? Fair point. We watched Dante enter the warehouse, watched him move through shadows like he was born in them. Victor was already there, waiting, 20 men backing him up. So much for coming alone, I said. Did you expect anything different from a Volkov? The confrontation happened fast. Words exchanged, accusations. Dante's voice carrying through the surveillance audio. You poisoned children. Victor's response, I poisoned your hope. The children were just the delivery method. Then gunfire. Chaos on every screen. Muzzle flashes. Bodies dropping. Dante moving like violence personified. But Victor's men had the numbers advantage. He's pinned down, Marco said, already moving. We have to. The van door opened. Alexei stood there, gun drawn. Right on schedule. My blood ran cold. You. Me. He smiled. Did you really think I'd help Dante kill my brother? Family is complicated, Miss Reeds, but blood is blood. You said. I said many things. Most of them lies. He gestured with his gun. Now, you're going to walk into that warehouse. You're going to distract Dante long enough for Victor to finish him. And if you refuse, he showed me his phone. Security feed from the safe house. Where the girls were sleeping. Where 3 men with guns were entering their room. No, I breathed. One call from me, and those girls die in their sleep. Peaceful, painless, almost merciful. His eyes were ice. Or you help me, and they wake up tomorrow morning like nothing happened. Marco lunged at him. Alexei shot him. Not fatally, shoulder, but enough to drop him. Marco! I screamed. He'll live, if you cooperate. Alexei grabbed my arm, dragging me toward the warehouse. Time to play your part, Angela Reeds. Inside, the gunfight was still raging. Alexei pushed me into the open space, into the line of fire. Dante! He shouted. I brought you a gift. Dante's head snapped toward me. Horror washed over his face. Angela. That split-second distraction was all Victor needed. He shot Dante. Center mass. I watched him fall. Watched blood bloom across his white shirt. Watched the man who'd become everything to me collapse like a puppet with cut strings. And something inside me broke. Then ignited. What happened next, I barely remember. Rage has a funny way of editing memory. I remember grabbing a gun from a dead man's hand. Remember shooting Alexei in the leg before he could call his men at the safe house. Remember Victor turning his weapon on me. And Dante, bleeding and broken, shooting him first. 3 shots, center mass, professional, final. Victor Volkov died before he hit the ground. The girls, Dante gasped, struggling to stand. Alexei's men, I was already calling Dr. Chen. Lock down the safe house, now, armed hostiles inside. Already handled, she replied calmly. Marco called me before you left. We weren't taking chances. Thank God for paranoid Italians. Alexei was on the ground, clutching his leg. Phone just out of reach. I picked it up. Called his men at the safe house. They didn't answer. Because they were already dead. Dr. Chen had surrounded those girls with enough firepower to start a small war. It's over, I told Dante, helping him stay upright. Victor's dead. Alexei's neutralized. The girls are safe. He looked at me like I'd grown wings. You shot Alexei. He threatened my girls. What did he expect? Your girls? Yes. I met his eyes. Mine, ours, whatever. Their family. Sirens in the distance. Someone had called the police. We need to go, Dante said, before this becomes complicated. We left Alexei there, bleeding but alive. Let him explain the bodies to law enforcement. Marco was waiting at the van, patched up, grumbling about crazy Americans. 3 days later, the girls had their actual birthday party. Rainbow cake, real candles, balloons that hope immediately popped because chaos is fun. Grace ate 3 slices. Faith saved sprinkles again, but this time she said, for next year. Next year. Like they believed in it now. Dante found me on the porch that night, watching stars. They asked me something today, he said, sitting beside me. What? If you're staying, what did you tell them? That I hoped so. He took my hand. Are you? I thought about rainbow cake and yellow dresses and 3 little girls who called Marco's mustache a dead caterpillar. They call me Mama now, I said softly. Grace started it. Now they all do it. Dante's thumb traced circles on my palm, and I told them that mamas don't leave. I looked at him. So yes, I'm staying. His smile was sunrise after endless night. Good, he whispered. Because we need you. You need a nanny? No. He kissed my forehead. We need you. Just you. Exactly as you are. 3 sunrises later, Hope came running into the kitchen, breathless with news. My hair's growing back, she announced, pointing to tiny dark fuzz on her scalp. Grace and Faith checked their own heads. Sure enough, new growth. The poison was finally, completely gone. Does this mean we're not dying anymore? Faith asked. It means, I said, pulling all three of them into a hug. You get to live every single day like it's a gift, because it is. Even Mondays? Hope wrinkled her nose. Especially Mondays. Dante watched from the doorway, coffee in hand, that rare smile playing at his lips. Marco started humming in the kitchen. Something about amor and famiglia. And just like that, somewhere between poison and antidotes, between death threats and rainbow cake, we'd become exactly what those girls needed. A family. Not perfect, not traditional, not even completely legal probably, but ours. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. The end.